Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for June 9th through the 15th, 2025. So I must apologize. It seems that my voice is going. I didn't realize there was a school function and for the graduating class, and there was a lot of loud music, and I had my earbuds in so that I would not damage my ears. As a musician, I always keep them protected when I'm out in the city. I'm always wearing something in my ears, and I must have been talking louder than I realized because I had the earbuds in. So hopefully my voice will hold out. It's been going in and out. So I'd like to welcome all of you back to this weekly series, and also to welcome anyone who's new to our Angelic Wisdom community. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed, select the all notification bell, like, and of course, leave your comments. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services, and be aware that after the 17th, I will be available for readings during the weekday. So, from 12 noon to about 6 p.m. Also, probably now that it's the last, currently it's going to be what we're talking about the week of June 8th. I won't be able to do any readings as I have to get all my grades and things finalized, and it's a whole bunch of things that goes along with the end of the year. So, but after the 17th, I will be available for readings. Also, if you would like to make a donation to my channel to support it, you can go to my PayPal me link, which you can find in the description area beneath this video, all of the links I'm about to mention or have mentioned. And also, the monthly Ascension Angel messages for June have been posted. So if you hadn't had an opportunity to see it yet, and to listen, make sure that you check out that link. That's going to be the first link you find in the description area beneath this video. I've also been mentioning about my teacher, former teacher and mentors, Kim Sear, who's a healer, and she's done this all around the world, and many thousands and thousands of clients, and worked through some really difficult cases. So she has been offering, she started a new YouTube channel, and she's been offering weekly free healings on her new YouTube channel. And I would just highly recommend it to anyone who's been really feeling like there's been something different going on with their body related to the higher frequencies on the planet. So I put her link in the description area beneath this video, but her channel is Kim Sear, Sear as in Seer, like the sea. So you can find all of that beneath this video. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And I'm seeing an angel number 454. And while I look for that, allow yourself to just be grounded deep into the earth and into the heart of Lady Gaia. And the message 454 says, the changes that you're considering have been suggested to you by your guardian angels and the archangels. You are literally answering your prayers as you take these necessary steps to make beautiful changes. So really pay attention, that 454, where the four is on either side of that number five of change. And it's like there's angels that are on either side of you as you're going through the changes that you're experiencing right now. And know that the changes that you're feeling prompted to make, this is your angels guiding you on all sides, protecting you and surrounding you and holding you up in this light. And it might feel for some of us that the changes are almost sweeping us up. And you might want to be a little resistant to it, or you might not want to trust it. But this is the support that you've been asking for. And this is definitely what you need to allow to unfold. But know that no matter how you behave, in terms of how you receive it, and that could be all kinds of things on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level that you might experience, that this change is for the best. And it's the answers to your prayers. So allow them to unfold, these healthful changes, as it says. So let's take a moment. Now, I see a leaning tree, which they've never shown me that before. And the trunk of the tree is, I would say, it's a slender trunk, and the branches are extremely enormous, and the tree is leaning over. And there's a sense of possibly, being overwhelmed. Or I felt as if, too, that the changes that are coming, it's sort of, I can't remember the sentiment, but it was as if, that the things that we've been holding on to are starting to come down, right? So the change might also be things that you need to let go of. That some things that have been holding you back, these things are going to start to fall. They're going to start to fall away, and you got to let them go. And that the trunk of that tree is slim for the size of the branches, means that whatever that's been holding you back, or you've been holding yourself in something in resistance to who you truly are and who you're truly meant to be, all of that, it felt like a tower experience. So just be aware that try not to resist the changes. Let them happen. Don't be afraid of what you're losing, but think about the freedom you'll gain once that all comes to a head. It's scary, like, to fall, but then once you fall, you can get back up and you can start to make better decisions so that you don't have moments moments where you relapse, or that you are not balanced. So you figure out a way to correct your balance, so that things like that won't happen. So don't make it a bigger lesson than it is, other than this is something I need to learn from. And if I've been resisting change, healthful change, and now I'm, finally learning, um, that I was afraid of falling, afraid of failing, but it's not as bad as all of that, because we can just simply get back up again and move forward. All right, let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with. I feel like this week is a simple message, and it's Archangel Jules, and it says, align with the highest and go with the flow. And I really think that right now, that is the best attitude towards change, is to just really go with the flow right now. And can we remember this? Because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of unusual things happening. And that is also a sign of change. There's a more chaos. There's more of, more things are happening. It almost seems like, gosh, it's all kind of coming in at once, right? And it may be unusual for what we typically expect to happen in a day for us, or in a period of time for ourselves in our lives. But we need to go with the flow. We need to trust that the angels are totally surrounding it. And it's a little messy because, our ego is fighting all of this. But you got to realize that you're fighting all of this too. You don't want to, like, you know, create a personification of an ego that we can put all the blame on, and then not make any changes within ourselves, right? Like, the ego is the angel. Nothing really is in control of you. You and I have been given free will, and we kind of fall into patterns and get comfortable in them. And sometimes the pattern of just, turning a blind eye to something that we really need to take a look at. So, um, and maybe the clue is that it's emotional, as we see this archangel, is the archangel of oceans and waters on our planet. Be aware that this might also be something that's not necessarily from this lifetime, but it could be from another era or past life. Um, so know that we're working, when you're in your prayers, pray for on all levels of our being, multidimensional, and, past and current, times and lifetimes, that you're ready to embrace the changes that will release you from all that needs to be surrendered in order to truly move into who you um, are being called to be, and how you're and where and in the ways that you're evolving right now. All right, so the cards today were laid from left to right. So there is a focus on the external reality. Um, they both, internal and external, it's always the same, meaning one, the they are a reflection of each other. However, we understand that we create our own reality. So now there must be something that we need to pay attention to what we've created around us, what we're attracting towards ourselves. And we just tune into Archangel Jules before we proceed. I saw two hooded, robed beings, and it's multiplying to three, and it feels like um, about relationship and about and I want to say the word comes to mind. You know, that we're like we're not alone, because alone is the word I was hearing. So that's the word 325. I'm sorry, the angel number 325. We're not alone in the universe. We have an incredible, enormous team, and I say an enormous team around us of all kinds of beings. Many times I see beings I don't quite know how to identify, but they always are come in peace, and they cherish you and I, and they right in front of me now, beloved. They behold us as beloved ones. The angel number 325, which has now the energy of the ascended masters, 3 and 5 change and faith. And there's a sort of a sense of faith in our and in who we are. The universe and the masters never lose faith in you. And you should never lose faith in yourself, even though there's a part of us that is trying to hold us accountable, not just to guilt us, but to keep reminding us of who we are, and trying to really make space for our spiritual voice, our higher self, or that voice which is guiding us and trying to remind us of the major key points of why we're here. There could be lessons that we want to learn, um, karma that we wanted to rectify, a particular mission of service. There's so many different agendas that the soul or the higher self set for itself. And all the while, you, the conscious person, has free will within this earth school. And so they want you to understand that that most of the things that you needed to accomplish as a soul, you have. And but it's not necessary that you get them all done. You're not gonna Nothing's gonna go wrong, or you're not gonna have to come back and you know it's the whole thing is, don't worry so much about that, but know that they have incredible faith in you, that you're going to make the choices that are going to really make a difference and make an impact, not only on yourself and what you wanted to accomplish in this lifetime, but on the world. And sometimes when we make a decision, it might actually have accelerated some of your lessons and your missions and those other things, and the healing of the karma. So it's kind of complicated, for our brain. But just know, if you keep being true to who you are, the more that you do this, the more, and they write honest, the more honesty that you have with yourself about what you truly want to accomplish for yourself, and that you're being true to yourself in doing so, this sort of satisfies and rectifies and heals so many of those soul goals and missions. And the number says 325, the changes that you're making or considering have been guided by the wise and loving ascended masters. You can walk along the path of healthy change with certainty that you're doing the right thing. And I hadn't even looked down to see the message. And just from looking at the numbers, that's what I was also sensing about this. They want to assure you that you're doing the right thing with absolute certainty. It's because they talk about walking that walking that path of healthy change. That path, why do I keep saying path? That path of healthy change, it's really totally in alignment with trusting who you are and being who you are and expressing that with a total sense of freedom. All right, so let's take a look at the cards that we pull. And it's interesting because here's the 2 cups that we've had before. And the cups keep coming up in the last few weeks since we've been using this deck. And we're just talking about that sense of not being alone, right? That we have this enormous team. And one of the things is that we need to adjust our lives, is what I'm getting. This is also a card of healing relationships, but a healing relationship with ourselves. We need to adjust our lives so that our relationship with our higher self and our team is more in balance. That you, and it's not that you're trying to follow their orders, because that's not what they're giving you. That's not their mandate. But to feel supported in the way that they support you, meaning unconditional love. This is something that we need to make those changes in our lives so we can feel this unconditional love from our angelic team that is truly supporting you in being true to yourself and trusting your heart. We often think of this the other way around, that we're supposed to listen so they can tell us what to do. And a lot of people, sometimes I'm lucky that the people who come to me for my angel readings don't come to me for me to have the angels tell them what to do with their lives, but they come to have a better understanding of themselves so they can be more in alignment with their angelic team and the love that is pouring into them. That they're there, by being truer to ourselves, we strengthen that bond of love so that we don't feel lonely, but we feel supported. Okay, so let's take a look at the next card. And we have the World card. It says Mundo, o Mundo. So this is the World card, And this is a card that is really telling us that we're moving towards our completion of our goals, that there's a rapid ascension towards this. This is the card of fulfillment, and that we've reached the pinnacle of our mission, and it's sort of a card of completion of a mission or goal, of high achievement. And so um, as we be, it's now really time. The change is really starts with being true to ourselves, and we're going to really start to see that reflected around us. So start to notice as you're making these changes that there might be this immediate effect, that where you start to see this in your external world. If you're seeing something different, then that means that you really need to align more with who you are. If things are not aligning or fulfilling, then that means that it's not time for you to feel bad about yourself, but it's time for you to know that those changes that you've been thinking about, that you've been putting off, it's time, right? But either way, you're ready for the lesson. You're ready to move forward. If you're not seeing the forward momentum happening, then this card is telling you you're ready for it, and you're just resisting it. So that would sort of connect in with that falling tree. And this is the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands brings in this, vibrant, new energy, and she brings opportunity. Um, and it could be any type of opportunity, especially around your career. So this might mean for you, in one way, thinking of it as a characteristic that we need to embody in the court cards. They give us a sense of something we can embody to make this happen. And maybe it's like putting yourself out there more, right? Have you just made a bunch of excuses for why things can't change, instead of trying it, trying to implement the change? Put yourself out there, see how it goes, test the waters, be brave, be fearless in testing the waters and seeing what works and what won't work. But don't say what won't work until you've tried it, and know that you're still going to be supported. And the way that you're going to be supported, and this is what's so important about strengthening that bond with your team, because to the degree of faith that you put yourself out there, that is the degree of support that you will receive from the universe, not just in these beings giving you less and more, but it's like you have free will. So the more you trust yourself, the more you give them permission to enfold and embrace and uplift whatever it is you're trying to do. Everything has to be done, and that's what paying attention to this external is so important this week. Why the cards are put from left to right, because you are witnessing your input, and you need to see, so whether you feel like you're getting little input from the universe or a maximum amount, it's all sort of helping you to monitor, mirror what you are doing, and is giving you a sense of, I need to, put myself out there more, throw caution to the wind. All right, so let's take a look at the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is, I'm assuming, I do Roman numbers, I don't know why it looks like the 9 of I don't know what's wrong with me in that Roman numeral. Because 11, but this has got to be 9. Oh, yes, over here. The one on the left isn't, you have to read the one on the left. If it's reversed, okay. So it's the 9 of Pentacles, which is a great card, right? And what it's given us a sense of is that we're seeing the seeds and the roots beneath. And my mind is really drawn to that, because one, it gives me a sense of a lot of you have been really praying for more stability in your life in general, and then more financial stability, as in our world today, the fear mongering is really trying to goat all of us with this basic need, kind of toying with us back and forth, giving us different pictures of the economy and our world. And so you have to stand very rooted in your belief and your faith in yourself, in that the relationship of support. And you have to understand that it's not about what they're saying out there. Those are just our fears in here. But reality will never change. The world, our universe, our source, our God is infinite just by definition of itself, its beingness. There is no limitation within it. And so we need, in order to access that, we need to dig deep into the roots of our core values. And if we have weeds in the garden of our understanding of abundance, we just need to root them out, meaning be aware of those voices and to not continue to perpetuate them. But this card gives us a sense that there's seeds beneath the surface of what we see and what we are told and what we understand. And regardless of how we're paying attention to things around us and how we're absorbing the external information, that there is opportunity growing, budgeting within us, and advancing and expanding. And as we allow that to happen, then above in the external realm, we will see the many blossoms and the many branches and branches in different directions continuing to expand and to offer to us. And even in the barrenness of nature, it is in the season of certain seasons like winter and fall, the preparation for the blossoming of spring and the full foliage of summer is always there. The potential is in the seed, and the seed keeps regenerating itself without end, so to speak, as long as it's getting what it needs. And you have to make sure that you're getting what you need. And that would be proper rest. A good life doesn't, a successful life, but we're not talking about rich and fame and all that. That's a that's extra. All of that's extra. But when you have what you need, you have everything that you could ever want. And that is what your soul needs to be satisfied. That's where we need to focus. And if we go with the flow a little bit more, the flow of who we are, the changes that we need, the healthful changes, will eventually take root in us. And then what springs forth? The stability, the security you've been looking for, you never lost it. It's always been a part of who you are. But when we gave ourselves away to these external concepts, ideas, and realities of success, of happiness, because it's all been being branded, and you and I can't, we can't really get enough out of that. It makes us addictive, right? It makes us, it's like, you go through the whole bag of chips, you know what I'm kind of trying to get at. It's when you eat those kind of unhealthy things like junk food, it just makes you crave and crave and crave. And all you feel is a craving, never a fulfilling, a craving. Even when you're full from eating it, you're still craving. But the abundance of the soul is not the abundance of the world. And I know you know that, but we need to be reminded of it so that we know what we're actually looking for. For instance, in relationships, when we're looking for partners, and most of the times, most of us are looking for the people in the magazines. We have been branded as sexy, as beautiful, as all kinds of things I can't even think of. And some of them are not unpleasant at all. But we've been branded. And so we're looking for the brand. Some people are looking for the successful person. But the thing that you're looking for truly in a relationship is a friend and a partner, a companion, someone that complements who you are and that you enjoy each other's company and you enjoy doing things together. That is something that the soul can find fulfillment in. It can't find fulfillment alone in somebody's beauty or lack of it, or what beauty is being branded by, ads and advertisements. Nobody can live up to these false one snapshot, one moment in time, idealized human beings. And especially now, the AI versions of people, muscular, it's kind of getting a little crazy. And so practice actually asking what you're really looking for. And that requires honesty. That requires clearing away all that external nonsense and really focusing on what satisfies my soul in a job. What is it that okay, well, I want to work at this top company. If I'm in tech. But make sure you know what it is in the tech industry that resonates with who you are and in the way that you can express yourself and be authentic and at the same time be of service. Make sure you know what that is before you start just reaching for the top companies. Because if you're only reaching for the outer external goals, you'll be miserable. And let's put it this way, happily miserable, and successful, meaning, you got the success, you got the thing you wanted, but there's a little low buzz of being miserable. It kind of never goes away. And I'm not saying that in the reverse, that there's not going to be some other condition, let's say challenges. or moments where you're going to question or doubt yourself. It's not an either or, but it's more like half full or half empty is the and so when we focus on external, we live our lives no matter how successful or how but I got the perfect looking partner, it's half empty is what how your soul is going to feel versus half full, and both have challenges. So we're really getting into this relationship with our higher self and our team in order to start really inspiring soul satisfaction and success defined by those things, and stability and security and partnership by your true self. And so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.